In soccer news, the U.S. women's national team lost. Not on the field of play, they won the World Cup in 2018. Congratulations, they lost in court when they sued because they were not getting paid equally to their male U.S. counterparts. The reason that the lawsuit did not go through is because the women wanted to tear up the old contract that they had because, hey, we won, we deserve more money, despite what was agreed upon and negotiated previously. But a few facts and figures as to why this lawsuit is absolutely ridiculous from the get-go. And the media is culpable in promoting this despite the facts and figures because, hey, it fits their narrative. It fits the social justice narrative. It fits what we want in order to get clicks because somebody's being treated unfairly. Lo and behold, people get treated unfairly. And in this case, it might be the men that are getting treated unfairly. Here's why. The Men's World Cup in 2018 brought in over $6 billion in revenue. The Women's World Cup brought in $131 million. The women's prize pool was 23% of their total revenue. The men got paid only 7% of the total revenue that they brought in, meaning that on a per dollar basis, the women earned a much higher commission. The men brought in 45 times more. You multiply 131 million by 45, you get what the men brought in at $6 billion. So, based on this, why in the world would the women deserve to be paid equally? Will the WNBA sue in court stating that despite the fact that they're a separate league with separate revenue streams, that they deserve to get paid at least as much as the lowest ranked men's team in the NBA, which brings in 100 times more revenue on a per team basis because, hey, we're women and we deserve equal pay? No, because it's equality of opportunity that we should be after, not equality of outcome. The moment that you do this, you diminish any incentive to go out and earn, to produce new products because, hey, everybody has to share in it equally. The reason that we go out there and we try to create something new and novel and we take the risk is so that we get rewarded disproportionately, which ups our standing in the community. It ups the chance that we are going to get a desirable mate. It has so many beneficial effects overall for society when we're competing with one another, but when you have equality of outcome, there is no real competition. There's no incentive for it. The winning men's team in the World Cup got paid 4 times as much on a per player basis than the U.S. women's team, despite the fact that, again, the men brought in 45 times more revenue, yet got paid 4 times as much, which means that there's no substantive case that women can make that they are getting grossly underpaid as compared to their male counterparts. 45 times more revenue, 4 times more earnings for the men. So here's another question. Why do female models get paid so much more than their male counterparts? Why does Gisele Bündchen earn 30 times more to her nearest male top earner? Why? Why do females on the upper rungs get paid so much more? Why aren't women calling this out as sexist, as completely and grossly unfair? Because one is in greater demand. The female form on display is much more in demand than the male form. And believe me, I fully agree and understand why. Females, people like to look at. Women want to look at other women. Men don't want to look at other men. Well, some do, but most don't. You see, and here's the thing. It's not even that crazy that women aren't calling this out. Why? Because what they're after in this postmodern aspect, there is no truth. There's only relative truth, what you can prove via power. And what they are doing is trying to use whatever power that they have in order to force unfair and disproportionate rewards for themselves. And this is the postmodernistic garbage that needs to go by the wayside. And people should examine that when you produce something, you get rewarded based on the merit. You get rewarded based on what you produce. If you have a salesman that makes 10 times more in sales, and just because somebody else is female or transgender or whatever else, if whatever score they have on the intersectionality scale, does not mean that they get to make as much as the person, whoever that might be, that produces 10 times more than them. We do not divide up the resources of the world equally. That's simply goes against game theory and why socialism will never ever work until you have such a plethora of goods that there's no shortage, that there's no scarcity, that goods can be easily divided equally. And even then, people will find reasons to have differences because people look out for themselves first. And this is what the women are doing in this lawsuit. They are looking out for their own interests and just demonstrating why equity will never work. If the women were to outgross the men in terms of World Cup revenue, you would not see men saying, hey, this is vastly unfair, give us our fair share. The same way that you don't see men complaining about the fact that Gisele Bündchen makes more than the average male model, or way more than the average male model. Regardless of this, just let's try to calm down and just let meritocracy work as much as possible. Let's strive for equality of opportunity and release the postmodernistic garbage that is controlling the media and leftists today into the garbage can where it belongs. If you guys like this video, share it, subscribe, peace out, and have a great day.